Hey everybody, welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. We have yet another new property premiering in Timberon that we're going to discuss in this video. We've recently done a bulk acquisition of properties out there, and so we're rolling them out slowly so we have enough time to make these videos and tell you everything you need to know about these specific properties. So let's get to it. This new one is OTNM-0010H. As noted, it is in Timberon. It's specifically in Unit 14. It is a half-acre lot, and it is priced at $2,500 like all of our other half-acre lots. Similarly, like our new acquisitions, this one also has power very close by and has access to water lines. So let's pull it up on a map and discuss it more thoroughly. Come down here, as with any one of our listing pages, click on these GPS coordinates, and it will bring it up on the Google Maps. So this specific half-acre lot sits right here off of Coleridge. It is... Actually, let's just pull back a little bit, show you exactly where this is. So this property is in the northeast portion of the Timberon subdivision. For those of you who don't know, Timberon is a master plan community down here in Otero County. It is one of these areas where the developer came in back in the 70s, bought up a couple thousand acres of land, chopped everything up into half-acre, one-acre lots, resold everything. But then the developer was conscientious enough to kind of stick around and build up a property owners association and some amenities out there and a greater sense of community. So 40-some years later, this area is actually kind of thriving. It's unlike a lot of developments in New Mexico in that way, in that they stuck around, they kind of built it up. So for instance, there's a property owners association out here. Very reasonable fee annually. You pay $30 a year. It helps them with road maintenance all throughout this area. Additionally, you have things like what you see here, Timberon Volunteer Fire Department, post office in the area. There's some lakes, some swimming pools out here, a 9-hole golf course, as well as places to eat. You've got a couple restaurants out here as well, etc. So, oh, and can't forget this, the Timberon Airstrip, the airport out here. So as you can see, it's more built up than a lot of places, and hence it makes kind of a desirable community. A lot of people come out here, retire, they use it for summer homes, they vacation out here, camping and RVing, etc. We'll get back to that in a second, though. So this specific property is in the northeast portion of Timberon. It sits on this Coleridge Drive right here off of Mallory Drive. And as you can see, there's a pretty nice home built up very close to it, roughly one lot over. So, as we say in the headline, power and water lines. Let's talk about that. So the nearest power line is right here. As you can see, it's roughly one lot over from the property, but that is not, that's pretty close. Not difficult to get that sort of thing extended out to the subject property to get, power out to any sort of structure that you're going to build out here. Additionally, as noted, this area is serviced by the Timberon Water and Sanitation Department, which means that there are water lines in this area and they can connect you to those water lines. Now, speak about this just briefly here. Timberon Water and Sanitation Department, TWSD for those in the know, does not service, strangely enough, the entire part of Timberon here. It only services certain streets within Timberon. They haven't gotten to all of the streets yet. So, with this recent acquisition that I've done, I've been very careful to only buy properties that are serviced by Timberon Water and Sanitation, which means that they will have these water lines available. Now, two things. One, there are a lot of people who come out here who like to use this area to camp, to RV, to hang out for a couple months of the year. They hang out in southern New Mexico for the summertime, and they go back to wherever for the winter, etc. And if you have a lot that has this water line hookup available to you, you can stay out here for 180 days. If you don't, you're only permitted to be on the land for 30 days. Now, I think that has more to do with the sanitation aspect of it than anything else. But point being, that's why you see so many nearby RV parks in this area servicing Timberon, because there are a lot of people who come out here, they can't stay for more than 30 days, and then they have to go park the RV somewhere else and then come back in a week or so. You will not have to deal with that mishigas if you purchase the land out here. You will have the ability to stay 180 days. And is anybody counting on day 181? I doubt it. But anyway, so that's for RVing. Now let's talk about building. Let's say you want to build out here. As I've discussed in other videos, I have typically avoided anything under 1 acre in Timberon for some period of time because there are additional rules in New Mexico when you're building on a piece of land that's under 3/4 of an acre. A lot of times it's prohibitively expensive. A lot of times it's not, quote unquote, not allowed unless you have access to city utilities. Now, of course, because you've got power so close to this property, because you've got access to these water lines, you are going to be able to build on this. Now, there's a couple things to know, particularly when it comes to any sort of septic system. As we note here on the listing page, if you're going to install a septic system, you have 3 different options for anything under 3/4 of an acre. Those options include advanced treatment units, split flow systems, and ET beds. I will talk a little bit more about those in a second. I just want to show you guys, down here on the listing page, we have photos from the Timberon community, and then we have photos from this specific property. And if you come down here and click on these, you're going to be able to see exactly what this area is like out here. This is probably that very nice house that's built up on the corner that I was showing you. And these are, well, there's the nearby power line. And these are photos from the property itself. So you're going to get a sense of exactly, if you do want to build out here, what you're going to have to do as far as knocking trees down, as far as doing some landscaping work, etc., before you can actually build on the property. This is seems like a more densely forested lot than some other ones that we have available out there. And I should also point out, we have a picture of what these water hookup devices look like, what these water lines look like. Just so you guys understand, as we say here in the caption, you're not going to find these on every property on a street. You're just going to find them in certain places within the area, like 1 hookup per street, something like that. Whatever the case, this is what that looks like, and this is how they're going to hook you up out there. Anywho, I should also point out to you, we're going to have some drone videos up at the bottom of this page. If you want to get a better sense of what the area is like out here, I'd encourage you to come down here, click on either one of the drone videos we have set up, and you'll be able to see more of Timberon. All right, so with all that said, let's talk about building out here. Let's talk about what you can do to better research this, better understand before you make this purchase what you're dealing with. So we've got a couple links down here. Now, I should just point out, when it comes to the assessor and the planning and zoning office, those are helpful, but they're not the most helpful when it comes to Timberon. Because Timberon is this sort of self-contained community, they have their own sets of rules, they have their own things that you want to know, and you can learn more about that by clicking any one of these links, either the Timberon Development Council, which is the name of the Property Owners Association, the Water and Sanitation District, which is, you know, the people who are going to come out and hook you up. There's a Timberon FAQ, which will help answer any, questions that you have about this. And then there's the local electric company. Now, you click on any one of these links, it's going to bring up their respective websites. I would highly encourage you guys, if you're looking at any of the properties that we have in Timberon, explore these websites, read through these. It's going to give you a lot better sense of what the community is like out there, what you can do, what you can't do, etc. And ultimately, they're a better resource than calling us and asking us these questions. This is a great website for this sort of thing. Simultaneously, their FAQ and then the Water and Sanitation District. If you have questions about what it's going to take to get power hooked up in the area, you can call the local power company, Otero County Electric Cooperative. You can ask them, hey, I'm buying a lot. It's in Unit 14. There's power roughly 1 lot over. What is the cost for me if I'm going to build out there? What is this going to cost me? And they can speak to that better than I can, etc. So would highly encourage you guys to check these out. Now, one thing I just want to show you, up here if you go to land for sale, they don't actually have any land for sale, but what they have is this new construction power and septic. Earlier when I referenced the different types of septic systems that you can install on a property under 3/4 of an acre, the page is loading there we go. All right. I referenced these 3 things. I know nothing about installing septic, but here on the Timberon website, they give you the name and phone number of a guy who does. So as noted, anytime you're installing a septic system on something under 3/4 of an acre, or really any kind of septic in New Mexico, the New Mexico EPA has rules that govern that sort of thing. If this is what you're going to do and you're going to go out there and build, you need to know how expensive that's going to be or what it's going to cost you. Or practically speaking, there's going to be issues that you want to be made aware of probably prior to purchase. Calling the New Mexico EPA is a good start, but Timberon goes one step further and gives you the contact number for the local person. His name's Michael. Here's his information. You can speak to him about septic installation in the area, and you can get a better sense of things that you would need to know when doing that. Okay. Finally, guys, I just want to show you, we have one other link up here that's very important, which is this Property Owners Yearly Regulations. So these are the CCRs, the Covenants and Restrictions. And you click on this PDF, and it's going to bring up this document here. It's basically 7 pages. There's roughly 17 units in Timberon. As noted, this is in Unit 14. And each of these units has its own sort of set of governing rules and restrictions. Now, if you read through this document, what you're going to find is all of these are fairly obvious good neighbor type of things. How you dispose of waste, if you're going to have a fire out there, how to do it in a heavily wooded area like this so you don't, set the whole place ablaze, things like that. So a lot of these are just kind of very obvious stuff, but a lot of our buyers will have questions about wanting to build a tiny home or a shipping container home or some sort of quote-unquote unconventional living situation. If those are the kind of questions that you have and you want to get a better sense of the sort of zoning laws out there, just read through this document. One of the things that tends to change unit by unit, the only thing that tends to change really, is this minimum square footage of what you can build out there. If a tiny home is defined as 900 square feet, you can do that out here. So this will give you a good sense of that. I encourage you guys to read through these. And furthermore, if you have follow-up questions about this, if anything isn't clear here, usually calling the Timberon Development Council and asking them directly, they're going to be an excellent source for that sort of information. So I highly encourage you guys to read through this. It's a good resource. All right, guys, with all that said, if you want to buy this property or any one of our Timberon properties, come up here, click on the Buy Now button. It's going to bring up the secure checkout page. We're going to ask you for some basic information. What name do you want on the deed? What's the tax address? Where's Otero County going to send the yearly bill to? Come down here, click the Next button, and on the next page, you'll be asked to enter your credit or debit card information. Once you do that, you have bought the property, you have secured it, it is yours. Within 24 hours, we're going to be in touch with you. We're going to send you a copy of a new deed for you to approve, along with some supplemental documentation. Once you approve the new deed, we're going to autograph it, notarize it, mail it off to the county to be recorded. Once they record it, they're going to forward it on to you. So from start to finish, we like to tell our buyers it's about 3 weeks before you'll have that recorded deed in your hand. That being said, as soon as you give us money, we don't care what you do. The property is yours to do with as your heart desires. So with all that said, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any further questions, leave a comment here on YouTube. Shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, or give us a call, 702-919-7170. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.